As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love this place I come from. To live another way I cannot foresee. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. As an American, I've been to the peaks of majestic mountains where the air is sweet. I've watched the eagle as it soars in beautiful skies that just can't be ignored. And by this country I'll always stand, for freedom and liberty for every man. When times are hard and things get rough, America always stands ready and rough. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody here. Welcome to Real News Live. Glad you guys are here with us tonight. A lot to go through. Hi, BK. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Nana. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Debbie Martin. Hi, LJ. Hi, Matt. Hi, Paulette. Hi, Linda. Hi, Melinda. How you guys all doing tonight? Thank you guys for being here tonight with us, of course. First, we're going to start off with auto manufacturers, the strike that is going on now against GM, Ford, and Stellantis. Of course, these manufacturers having a huge problem with this. What they're demanding, of course, is causing more problems than good. Of course, this all comes on the rise because Biden's stupid climate change mandates. The auto workers want protections and want raises. Not a question, they deserve it because there's fewer jobs are going to be had. The people that, of course, are going to be losing their jobs for auto manufacturers and the union. 140,000 people expecting cutting the workforce at least 50%. This is crazy. Of course, these people need protections. Biden didn't see this as a problem, though, when he forced, of course, his climate agenda and climate mandates that are destroying the U.S. auto industry and making China rich. Yeah, FBI wants protections too. It's a joke at this point. America is in distress. Watching one of the biggest unions, the United Auto Workers Union, strike against the big three manufacturers, starting, of course, this morning. first in the union's history to actually demand and go to a strike at this level for increased work or increased wages, shorter work weeks, and better retirement benefits. I mean, of course, Biden is, of course, trying to push this climate deal of what he wants out of this. And he's, of course, sending representatives there to, of course, try to work this out. But Ford, one of the biggest manufacturers, said the proposal that they, of course, the benefits the United Auto Workers Union wants could force bankruptcy. I mean, and this could be bad. If they meet the demands, it would result in Ford going bankrupt. I mean, some of the benefits they're asking for aren't that much. But of course, the pension benefits for all workers, they want to restore the defined benefit pensions, which is ridiculous. A 4-day work week with a mid 30% raise, 30% per worker. Of course, their initial target was 40% increase in wages for its members. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Basically, they want to match the average salary that executives receive. They're asking for too much at this point. My flag is going to stay upside down until America's recovered. I mean, yeah, Ford CEO did make $21 million last year. But that also comes on the heels of development and everything else that goes into it. But asking to make over $300,000 a year working 4 days a week for 8-hour days or less, that's more than most doctors make. But that's what they're demanding, and that's what they're striking for. Of course, causing a huge crisis in the economy. As we're watching, we know everything that's folding over to China. China's making massive profits off of the strike. And it's not going to be the only person making profits. We're watching as foreign nations make more money off of America more than ever nowadays, especially solar and everything else. They didn't offer 20% yet. They did not offer 20% yet. It's just ridiculous. They want a traditional pension, return to traditional pensions, which means anybody would receive that if they got laid off, no matter what. Full health care and retirement, and a whole bunch of other concessions, of course, along with that. GM and Ford did pitch a 20% increase, I guess. Yes, they did pitch a 20% increase today, just a little bit ago, to adjust for COLA. This is ridiculous. A 20% increase, and they said no. That's not good enough for that. I mean, if this strike goes on, and of course they honor what the employees want, it'll cost the auto manufacturers over $5 billion in a period of 10 days. 10 days, the strike. It costs $5 billion for these auto manufacturers. Talking 150,000 up to almost 150,000 workers. And that's just on the heels of what's happening. White House Democrats, of course, are now being plagued by protesters over the migrant crisis, even in New York City. Yes, House Democrat representative in New York City was confronted by right-wing protesters at a press conference this afternoon in Manhattan over the migrants. There's a huge problem with migrant crisis. Of course, these representatives pushing for a pathway for migrants to more easily start working as one of the ways to ease social burden. They still receive these benefits. They'll still receive their $2,200 a month, housing, food, and medical for the first 5 years. That's part of course, our asylum-seeking project. And the joke is that Biden, of course, is trying to roll back now to push these newer mandates where people have to stay in Mexico to get us before they get approved for asylum. This is, and voting. That's another whole problem. It's tragic at this point. We're becoming Venezuela. I hate to say that. That's what we're becoming. We have a dictatorship in our government, and I'm going to talk more about this because I think it's very important. We have a dictatorship in our government. It's not a question at this point. Biden impeachment inquiry, you know what the White House decides to do? Send out massive letters to all media stating that they should hound them for even having an impeachment inquiry, even investigating Biden, not impeaching him yet. This is an inquiry. So they want to investigate. We know that there's Biden family corruption. It's a culture of corruption. It's not a question. We know that Biden administration has given Hunter special treatment in the tax, crimes, and gun investigation, and that Biden himself lied about his knowledge of his son's financial dealings. That's enough alone to impeach him. Much less if he actually received money or not. That is enough alone. The sketchy business dealings at the best, illegal at their worst. I mean, this is a joke. Hunter Biden isn't a subject of the impeachment inquiry. His father is. So far, there's plenty of evidence. Of course, supposedly no concrete evidence because emails, we only have one side that came into the laptop. Of course, that's the reason Republicans are opening the impeachment inquiry so we can get the actual copies from the government side, showing that he sent these emails. Of course, they weren't just fraudulently made up and put on a laptop. Bank records and financial disclosure documents from Biden and his son are being asked for, which should be. To firmly convict Biden and impeach him and Hunter's wrongdoings should happen at this point. I mean, Donald Trump was tried to impeach twice without even inquiries. There isn't a broad consequence for an impeachment inquiry. It's warranted at this point. It is warranted to at least have an inquiry. And of course, the White House wants to tell media that they should attack Republicans. As the White House are telling media that they should attack Republicans and ignore the questions that are being asked. That's a dictatorship. When media is told what to do and how to do it, that is a dictatorship. It is a joke. China Biden being charged with, of course, his gun crime. The White House, of course, Biden says he won't pardon Hunter if convicted on gun charges. But at the same time, Hunter Biden comes out and says, oh, well, I don't think I'll be charged. It'll be dismissed because I'll get it dismissed before we even get to that point. Hunter Biden's lawyer saying gun statutes are unconstitutional. First of all, these gun statutes were put in place not just by Republicans, not just by Democrats, but both aligned. Because, of course, a drug addict is not supposed to possess a weapon, which we agree is a safety issue. Just like mental health patients shouldn't have a weapon if they're prone to suicide or hurting somebody else. Come on, this is common sense. Saying it's unconstitutional because now all of a sudden it's a Democrat's son that is in trouble. I mean, these felony charges could face up to 25 years. Stating that a statute is unconstitutional is just ridiculous at this point. And they're saying that the case will be dismissed before trial, not for unconstitutionality, because it just will. Who's going to dismiss it? There's 3 felony gun charges, of course, and the renewed legal pressure after the plea agreement that was struck before the prosecution imploded in recent months. There's no way of going back on this. And Biden himself, of course, in the White House, stating they're not going to. They're not going to get involved. They're not going to pardon, and Biden won't pardon his son, according to him anyways. The White House reiterated on today that Biden will not pardon his son. We'll see if that comes true or not. But when asked if he would commute his son's sentence as convicted, Jen Perry said no, supposedly. So we'll see if that actually happened as well. It's a joke at this point because our government is so corrupt to its core. We got a president that should be impeached. We have an ex-president that was attempted impeached twice, and of course not found guilty of either one of those. including the January 6th impeachment. But now they're going to take him in federal court and try to charge him that way in federal court with anything that happened on January 6th. One way or another, they're scooping around Trump, trying to attack him from every angle. And it's sad. Meanwhile, nobody's talking about the true issues with America, like the Biden scandal. Now Biden showing, the Biden administration willing to pay big prices to free Americans with his deal with Iran. So one breath, Biden is giving Iran all this money, $6 billion in Iranian funds, given back to them. Their criminals released from U.S. custody, being sent back to them. For a few of U.S. people that, of course, shouldn't have been there in the first place. In exchange for a WNBA star. I mean, this is ridiculous. Notorious drug dealers are exchanged for a drug addict of an NBA, a women's basketball associated star that was in prison in Russia. I mean, now the U.S. is just giving away anything, hemorrhaging over getting U.S. citizens home, giving Iran pretty much a much-needed boost for its struggling economy, this money that they just got. At the same time, Biden says he is announcing more sanctions on the anniversary, of course, of the reporter's death in Iran. The Biden administration announced today new sanctions. Some of Iran's most egregious human rights abusers. So wait, we're going to give them money. We're going to free the criminals that we have held in detention in the United States, and then we're going to sanction them? We wonder why sanctions don't work anymore. This is why we have BRICS happening. This is why we have nations gathering together against U.S. dollar hegemony. When you target every single country, literally what we're doing, targeting every single country and sanctioning them in any way we can, it's going to become a firecracker. You put so much pressure on, eventually that thing is going to explode. And that's what we're seeing happen. U.S. dollar takes dives day after day now, and nobody even flinches an eye. Nobody even realizes what's happening at this point. Is it a sad shape for a U.S. government? Yes, it's a sad shape for everything that's unfolding. It's only getting worse. It's not getting any better. As we watch all this unfold, nobody's benefiting except for the leaders. It is really, really sad at this point. Belarus' leader proposed a three-way cooperation with Russia, Putin, and North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Nobody sees that as a problem. I see this as a huge, huge problem. We have now China, Belarus, North Korea, and Russia all willing to go to war for each other. We're talking a NATO, but with a lot more firepower. If it was just Russia by itself and Kim Jong-un and Belarus, that'd be one thing, or China with Kim Jong-un and Belarus. We have Russia and China together at this point. Knowing that the weaponry that they're fielding is much more advanced than most of our weaponry that we have available to us. North Korea, 400,000 troops to Russia. You know what's sad is 400,000 troops to Russia, and Russia right now is fighting not just a war on one front, they're fighting in Ukraine, they're fighting in Syria directly against us. Yeah, the waves are terrible on that hurricane, Lee, and I pray that we don't have major flooding in New York, but major flooding is definitely looking up for the northeast. It's going to be bad. Sad. Yeah, an NBA star that hates America. So we got her out and let a criminal go free. It's a joke. Caring about America is a joke. If Biden or the White House or Democrats, even some Republicans right now, are a joke. We wonder why our country is in demise. Look at the spending. And people are saying, oh, well, it's not that bad. We raised the debt ceiling to $35 trillion. So we raised it $4 trillion for the next 2 years. $4 trillion for 2 years. So in 2 years, we're going to raise it $8 trillion for 2 years to be able to pay the interest and, of course, keep the government going. And then in 2 years after that, we'll raise it $16 trillion. So what happens in 10 years from now when the national debt's 70-something trillion dollars? We can't pay it. We can't even pay it even if we take out the most we can at that point. America's heading down the drain. One way or another, we have to face the facts. They're pushing for war, and we wonder why. If you look at the financials of our country, it's obvious. We have corruption from the highest order. Our president, supposedly our leader, corrupt to the core. At the same time, wants to attack Trump, saying he's corrupt, that he's no better than Hoover. This is a joke. A disappointing joke. The once great country that we all live in, that we should all stand for, the Constitution that we believe in, doesn't exist. It's nothing more than a scrap of paper at this point. If you don't believe me, go outside and tell somebody to go fuck themselves. See how quick a cop comes for disorderly conduct. Sorry about my profanity, but I'm being honest here. That's the First Amendment. And the Bill of Rights isn't a Bill of Rights that is granted by the government. And that's what the government gets very confused about. When the Bill of Rights was written, with the first 10 amendments, those amendments were written because there were God-given rights to humans, to all humanity. That's what they were written on. And that the government could not intrude on those rights. The rights to bear arms, the rights to defend yourself, the rights to freedom of speech, freedom of press. Those are very vital to our free country. From unlawful search and seizure. We're seeing this happen day after day, though. They don't care anymore. The rights that were given by God, and of course, allowed by our country because they were God-given rights in the first place. Constitution grants us those God-given rights that they believed in. But it's a joke. Nana. It's just sad. And then we're looking at what's happening in Ukraine, and the U.S. is saying, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this. But now the Biden administration is taking a new look, a fresh look. No presidential decision so far. But we're looking at long-range missiles, ATACMS, going from the U.S. this fall to Ukraine. Ukraine's doing so well, remember? They're doing so well, they're taking so much territory. Oh, wait. They might have captured a small village outside of Bakhmut. The entire counteroffense. They have captured one small village outside of Bakhmut. Not Bakhmut, not even the city next to Bakhmut, but a small village outside of that they have managed to take back. I'm sorry about my language, but sometimes things need to be happened, things need to be said. I know people don't like it. But we're drowning at this point. America's drowning. And we can't say we're at war or Russia's this evil place, evil empire, when we go and send an American astronaut to ride with 2 Russian astronauts on a Russian capsule to the International Space Station. We're sanctioning Russia. Russia's so bad. Russia's so evil. So we're going to send 2 astronauts, or 1 astronaut, to fly with 2 Russian cosmonauts to the International Space Station aboard a Russian capsule. Because Russia's this evil, evil country. This is a joke. We're being played. We are being played. We're being played by our own government. We're being played by our own leaders, supposable leaders at this point, because that's all they are. They're not leaders. True leaders would not lead us into this disastrous design that we're following. Everything that's unfolding right now is just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Justice Department trying to say there's no valid reason for Trump to want the D.C. judge to step aside. The judge they have in D.C. is a heavy Trump hater. She's hated Trump when he got into office. She was appointed by Obama. She hates all Republicans. She hates freedom of speech. Only when Republicans do it, though. That's right. If you protest and you're a liberal protester, Black Lives Matter, and you destroy massive amounts of property in D.C., and you get charged federally, this judge lets you walk away. And not only that, make sure you get paid on your way out. But yet when it comes to January 6th and what happened on January 6th, not saying anything that was right there, she prosecutes, charges, and convicts people without even due process. Let's be honest, the shaman, he wasn't entitled to the video of him being escorted through the Capitol by police, being taken and shown around the Capitol. He wasn't allowed that footage for his trial. He wasn't. He got 4 years because he supposedly went in the Capitol, violently damaged property and everything else. We watched him walk through the Capitol. We know that didn't happen. We know that he had a police escort showing him around. Of course, that can't be pushed out there. That she, of course, took the ability of the DOJ to, of course, not turn over records and evidence that would show that he didn't do anything wrong. This is the America we're in. The America where it is attack anybody that you do not like, charge them with any crime you want, and expect everybody to be happy about it. This is just the beginning. We have Oprah Winfrey and freaking the Jack Rock, what do you want to call him? The Rock. He's a jackass. Supposedly raising money for people in Hawaii. Meanwhile, turns out to be a scam. Nobody's received that money. It is a joke. It is disgusting to watch what's unfolding within our government and within our celebrities, the left-wing celebrities, taking money from American citizens, taking money out of hard-working American citizens' pockets, and lining the pockets of Ukraine, of leaders in our own country. Nobody knows what's happening in Alaska. Still, I'm trying to find out more information. Something's happening because Democrats are still flying there at a rapid rate. Yeah, fleecing America at this point. They're fleecing America. And if people don't see the failures in the system, yeah, supposedly they only raised $1,500 and they donated it. Supposedly. None of the rest of the money, of course, is accounted for or shows where it went. All the Democrats have been flying to Alaska. Even Biden was there on, of course, 9/11. Nobody's talking about what's happening. Yeah, and enrich themselves. Just like the Clintons did when they did the Haiti earthquake relief with billions of dollars. The Clintons, of course, washed that money through their own corporations, and the people of Haiti never got relief. We've watched this happen before, and it's happening again. Will there be criminal charges on these people? No. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to blink. Nobody wants to open their eyes and say, oh, there's a problem. The problem is the judicial system and the executive system in America these days. It's not about drilling for oil because they're flying into Juneau right next to DARPA. That's all I know for sure. And I know several of them have taken the commuter flight to DARPA from that location. And I don't know anything else. I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm going to keep on this because I want to know what's happening in Alaska and why supposedly there's multiple trucks hauling massive amounts of materials out of a DARPA location, maybe building another underground shelter or structure. We don't know. But the truth needs to be found out. America needs to know what's happening. I'm not going to play this game of, oh, they can say what they want to say. Oh, they're doing this. And that's all that's happening. Nothing else is happening. Yeah, they're building something. And it's something big. Yeah, probably in the new secret bunkers. You're probably right about that. That's what I'm guessing. But God bless you guys. God bless America. Of course, if you can afford to donate, we definitely appreciate it. As we're trying to raise money for people in need this Thanksgiving, trying to provide as many families meals as possible. Definitely want to say thank you. Thank you, Linda, for that $5 donation. And of course, every penny we raise is going towards those families. So God bless you all. God bless America. We'll be live tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Till then, I'll give a full update tomorrow night because I have to look at the accounting Monday. So God bless you guys. Tomorrow night, I will give you a full accounting of how much money we've raised so far for meals. And we're going to find out what's happening in Alaska. We're going to, one way or another. But God bless you guys. God bless America. And good night.